Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing something a little different. Normally, I make something and then we demold and see how it turned out. Sometimes good, sometimes bad. Well, today I'm going to demold and then we're going to look at them and then I'm going to show you how to make them. These, I hope, turned out really awesome. These I was just playing around with. So let's look at some of them. A note of caution though, I wanted these to hurry up and cure, so I put them in my curing machine. And don't do that. It made this really hard. It's not as bendable. But there's like the first one I did. And I'm just gonna pop these out and then we'll look at them. I got two more. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go to Dollar Tree and try and get some more. But I have just two plain white candies. And you could do a lot of things with these. You could put a hole in them and use them as a Christmas tree ornament. You could put a magnet on them and use them as a refrigerator magnet. I have two red ones. Then I have this one where I tried to do red and white. But these are the ones I'm really excited to see. I spent a lot of time on these. Ooh, look at them. They look cute. I'm going to have to color his beak and his feet because I did not have orange to color my resin. Yeah, see them? I have an air bubble there, but that's okay. And some of these are a little thicker than others. These molds are really deep because they're meant for ice cubes. But here we go. We have another one. And another one. Okay. I mean, look at them. They came out really super cute. So I thought I'd make a video and show you how I did these. This video is going to take like 3 or 4 days to film because you mix up a little bit of resin, you put it in, and then you let it cure. And then you have to keep doing that. So it takes time. I did not use 4-hour resin. I used craft resin. And the hardest part about doing this is mixing up the tiny amounts of resin you need for each color. So I'm going to mix up some resin and then we'll start working on these penguins. So hang tight and I'll be right back. Okay, I don't know what happened there. My camera shut off. It says the battery's good, but just to recap, in case for some reason it glitched. I have half a milliliter in each of these cups. One is green that I got off of Amazon. One is red that this is one I got from Temu. And I'm using these little micro brushes. Here's a clean one. To kind of paint. As you can see, I am painting in the mold. And you know, you kind of want to turn it a bit so that you get everything. Take your time and just put little bit by little bit. If you glob it in there, you're going to have a mess. And you know, this is self-leveling resin, so oh, and there's Lucky. He's wanting in here. But obviously I'm doing resin, so he cannot be in here. And I'm also being naughty and not wearing a respirator so I could talk to you. I usually do. I very rarely do this without a respirator on. But I was kind of thinking, you know, it's such a small amount, it shouldn't hurt. I don't know whether that's, you know, a good way to think or a bad way to think, but, you know, I just wanted to try it. I do have an air purifier on. It is not the one from Resiners. I was thinking about buying that during Amazon Prime days, but I don't know, I'm just on the fence on it. What makes it different than a regular air purifier? I like to be a little frugal with my money. And it looks nice, you know, and I've seen lots of reviews, but I don't know, I'm still on the fence. Do any of you have the air purifier? What do you think about it? I mean, really, honestly, is it worth it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Because like I said, I really have been on the fence about it. Another tip about this is you want to use a resin that has a low viscosity because it's going to be easier to paint with, and you know, it'll self-level a little quicker. And as you can see, even doing half a milliliter, I'm going to have some left over. I know with the red, I want to try to do some of the candy, the little peppermints and the candy canes. I did, I think, one of the candy canes, but I didn't do a peppermint yet. Since we're only doing the 4, it's going to come quick, you know, and I'm going to have all this leftover resin, and I should have grabbed something to to make, and I didn't. So, since we're killing time while I'm doing this, I'm just going to gab. You know. How was you guys' day today? Did you have a good day, bad day? I mean, mine was okay. It seemed like it dragged on forever. You know, we all have days like that. Some days go really super fast. That's usually, you know, the day off. Goes by way fast. And then work weeks tend to drag on and on. Sometimes I wish they'd go a little faster, but, you know, I don't want to wish my life away. I want to enjoy it. Have fun. And this is one thing that I get to do that I really do enjoy. It's resin. I had wanted to try this for a very long time, and I just never did. And then last year I just decided to try it, and I love it. You never know how things are going to turn out. Okay, so we got that done. Let's start with the other side. This almost looks like a neon green. I may have put a little too much in there. We'll see. I'm using one of these micro brushes. I assume you could probably do it with like a toothpick, but this is a little longer, so I thought it might work a little better. And I hope this green dries just a little bit darker, because it's kind of really yellowy. It's got a big yellow tint to it, which was not what I was looking for. I wanted a Christmas green. But gotta use what I have on hand. And when I did the other penguins, I wish the white would have been a little bit more opaque. I used some mica powder, and I think I'm going to use some pigment paste with these, and we'll look at it and see what kind of a difference. I'm thinking the pigment paste should be darker. And I ordered it off of Amazon, so hopefully it gets here in, you know, a decent amount of time. See, it kind of goes fairly quick. It's like, just take your time. Just kind of dab it in there and let the resin do its thing. I'm trying not to get too big of globs in there. If I get impatient, it'll end up running over. And then I won't get the look that I want. And I have to keep turning my mold so that I can see, because, you know, I don't want to stick my head down in front of the camera and then all you see is the back of my head, as I'm trying to make sure I get all the right spots. Okay, just have this little hat brim to do. Okay. Now, as you can see, we got all the colors in here. We're just going to set this aside, let it sit. And as you can see, I have a lot of resin left over. Even a half a milliliter is too much, but I don't know how to make it any smaller, to be honest. So we're going to go ahead and do these. And we're going to do them the same way. So we got that one. I'm going to do these other three real quick, and then we'll start adding some red. And I'm hoping that, you know, this doesn't start setting up on me here. I'm also hoping I'll be able to get these out of the molds when they're done. When I was trying this the first time, I put it in my curing machine, and I think the heat did something to the molds, because now they're not as pliable. They almost feel like they're getting brittle. But it, you know, it came from Dollar Tree, so still have more this winter. I'll pick up a lot more. Get a bunch of different ones so I can do these. You know, and the one thing too with the self-leveling, it doesn't tend to run all over in these molds. Quite the opposite. Let me show you this one. You can see where it bunched up, and we're missing some. So I'm going to have to add that back in. First time I did this, I had that problem with the black, but not the rest of this. So we'll let that sit. Almost done with this. And then I'll pour this stuff in a different mold, all the extra, and then we will wait for this to cure. So tomorrow I will probably work on the black. Finish the penguins, and then wait another day, and then try to get the white done. Hopefully get it done before the weekend, but no promises. Okay, so let's look here. That looks pretty good. We'll check these guys again. That looks good. Now I'm going to try to do the little red stripes, and we'll see how this goes. I'm kind of hoping it doesn't mix in with the green. I'm surprised I'm not making a mess, to be honest, because I tend to be a little shaky, especially in the mornings. Too much caffeine. Oh, we got a hair there. because the last color we'll do is white, and with these candy canes, I just want to, you know, fill it in the rest of the way with white. Crap. There's a glare on it, and I couldn't see where the stripe was. Okay, so I have this one candy cane done. I'm going to do the other candy canes off camera so I don't put you to sleep. So we'll see you tomorrow when this all cures. Bye. Okay, it's the next day, and as you can see, the scarves and hats did pretty good, except this one, I don't know how well you can see it. I have a gap there, so I may have to color that in with a marker, but the rest of this looks pretty good. Now, as far as the candy canes go, they look good, but you can tell with the candies how it kind of all went into the middle on those. This one I didn't put as much resin in, so it kind of stayed. So what I've done is I've got 1/2 milliliter of resin here that I was just made. This small amount, you really don't have to mix it for the full 4 to 5 minutes because it's such a little amount, just, you know, a few swirls. I mixed it for at least, you know, a minute, but it's pretty well mixed. So I'm going to add some black in here, and I want this black to be really dark. But at the same time, you have to be careful that you don't put in too much of the pigment, because then you'll have problems with your resin. So see, that looks really nice and dark. Set that aside, and we are going to do this just like we did yesterday. This will take a little longer just because there's more there, because we have to go around the whole penguin, and then I will use a toothpick to do his eyes. And I usually do that last. So let's get started with this. And once again, we're not really globbing it on. Now, one thing I learned I'm going to set this aside real quick. One thing I learned with doing these penguins is the resin kind of wants to bleed over into like the scarf and the hat and stuff. So I keep having to go back and check it, because the resin it'll move, as we know resin does, because it tries to find that low point and goes from there. And then when I'm doing this, if I get a bunch of resin on the brush, I tend to rub it on the wall. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I will rub it on the wall so it kind of goes down a little bit. Now with this, I will, when I go to edit, I'll probably just show one full penguin and then fast forward it. I mean, you guys will get to see it, but I don't want to bore you to death doing this, and I'm sure you don't want to sit and listen to me go on and on and on. I'm going to let that resin sit. Let's do the eyes. And I've already got a couple spots where it's moving. I'm hoping this will turn out as good as the first set, the ones that I demolded. But like I said, I did put these in my curing machine, and I think it kind of warped them a little bit and made them a little brittle. Because I have a couple spots here that just are not wanting to fill in. Okay, so now, as you can see, we've got all our black resin around there, and we will do each one exactly like that. So at this point, I probably will fast forward it. So now we're going to do the eyes, and then we're going to go back and fill in the spots where the resin moved. Okay, so now we will go back through each one, fill in the spots where the resin moved. And then we'll let it sit till tomorrow. Okay, it looks like it's pretty well done. So now what we'll do is I'll let this sit for a few more minutes, and I'll spot check it, and then I'll cover it and let it cure, and then tomorrow we can start on the white. So I'll see you then. Bye. Okay, it has been a couple of days since I did the black on here, and as you can see, there's some places, like, I don't know if you can see his head there, where it receded. As it cured, it kind of shrank up. So I don't want to mix any more black. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up some white, and we'll fill this, and then I can just color this in with a paint pen. The white I'm going to use is HTV Ront White. This is something that I got from Amazon Prime Days, and I only paid $5 for it. Now, I use their black, and I really like it because it gives it a dark, rich color. So I am hoping that the white will be just as good. So give me a few minutes. I'll mix up some resin, and then we'll finish these, and then we'll finish making the world's ugliest turtle here. He's got green and red and black, and he's going to be finished with white, so he might be a little ugly. But, you know, we'll see. So like I said, give me a few minutes. I'll mix up some resin, and then we'll try and get this finished up today. Okay, I mixed this up. It does have some bubbles. I did not run it through my bubble machine, bubble removing machine, whatever you want to call it. So I am just going to add some pigment right in here and mix it up, and we'll see. because I want it to be really, really white. Not quite mixed all the way. Okay, you see how good and dark that is? Alright, so let's start pouring. And I'm not going to make these really thick because I'll probably like turn them into magnets or something for my kids. Tell you what, this paste works better than the ones that I did that I unmolded at the beginning of the video. I had used mica powder, and I think this is going to work better because it's going to give me more the look that I was wanting. Okay, so let's move these guys aside, and then we'll fill these. And I mixed up 2 ounces of resin, so hopefully that'll be enough. And it is kind of hard to pour this slowly in these molds. It's like this one. I don't think I'm going to have enough. I was not consistent in the amount that I put in the molds. But you know what? That's okay. They're going to be different thicknesses, and I think these other 2 I'll save and do them later. But I don't know if you can see on the camera, this one is over half full, and like this one's a quarter, this one's a quarter. It's not even, their little feeties aren't even got resin in them. So let's get some resin in their feet. All right. Any others real quick? No? Just gonna fill this guy and this guy. Alrighty, I'm gonna let these sit and cure, and then we'll demold them and see how well we did. See you later. Okay, these have all cured, and I'm dying to see what they look like. I know there's a couple of the penguins I have to touch up, but I want to start with these first. And fingers crossed here that they came out. Oh, look at that. This looks so much better than when I did it with the mica powder. The colors seem more vibrant. And this would look really cute. You could make it as an ornament or a refrigerator magnet. That looks cute. Now I'm really super excited to see the penguins. Yeah, here's this one. This one I missed a spot coloring it in with the red, but I think I can fix it with a paint pen. These turned out really good. Oh, looky there. I gotta work a little bit more on trying to get the swirls, but that will look really pretty when it's done. And see, this is one of them where the swirls all went together, but still, not bad. Now I'm dying to see these penguins. Oh, look at them. That turned out so good. I mean, I have to paint some black there and do some orange, but these turned out awesome. I'm extremely happy with these. I have a little, like I said, a little touch up on some of the black, but these look really good. Look at them. See that one? I mean, I need to trim on the back because I did not fill the mold up, so I have to smooth that out. Not a big deal. I am just ecstatic about how well these turned out. Using the pigment paste made all the difference. Look at this one. The black went away, except for that one spot. Looks like he has a third eye. That's cute. Oh, look at that. Let me grab one real quick of the other penguins that had just the pigment, or excuse me, that had the mica powder, so you can see the difference. Hang on. Oops. Taking you with me. Hang on. Okay. Now that I've made everybody seasick, just look at the difference. The mica powder and the pigment. The black was the same. The green, this one was a little darker green, but the backing color, the white, makes it pop so much more. So I think I'm going to touch some of these up, put some orange feet on them with some paint markers, and then I will add pictures at the end and let me know what you think. Which ones do you like better? The ones with the pigment paste or the ones with the mica powder? Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. If you guys like what you saw today, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. We'll see you again soon. Bye.